there's been a lot of talk on social media about Ralph Lauren's partnership with Morehouse and Spelman. For folks that don't know, Ralph Lauren, the famous quote unquote, I stress quote unquote, all American fashion brand, they are partnering with Morehouse and Spelman. They have partnered, launching a limited edition collection. Some people love it. Some people are mortified by it. A lot of conversation about this. People are saying this is a horrific example of capitalism. Other folks are saying, listen, Ralph Lauren and Morehouse and Spelman are partnering together. This could be a great fundraising effort. Yeah, I'll let y'all sound off on it first. What do you think, Amisha?
I agree with the naysayers here. I think that this is Ralph Lauren has a history, a history that is well known when it comes to some of the racially charged motivations, not only in terms of those who are or who have been historically chosen to model for them, but also as it relates to some of their own creative minds and creative artists. I think that it's problematic. I think that it's problematic because we have thousands upon thousands of creators that are Black, many of whom have graduated from those HBCUs, who could have been utilized in this sense. The name, the brand Ralph Lauren, does not bring to mind a lot of goodwill among Black people in the Black community. I think that this is more so him in many ways, and I've seen other brands try to do this as well, post the George Floyd protest era, kind of jump through and honestly try to get Black dollars. I get it on the university side, wherever there is money to be made, wherever there's branding to be made, wherever there is an opportunity to get more attention, to get more influence, that will be done. We know that even with the sizable monies that are being funneled towards HBCUs now, they are still at a much more dire strait than many of our state schools across the country and other colleges and universities. With that being said, I'm not a fan of this collaboration. We'll see what happens, but it's I don't think it was something they should have gotten into. And again, considering the fact that Ralph Lauren has a very long and a very available history with a simple Google search of not necessarily being the most Black friendly, there are some significant problems there.
Eljoy?
See, I'm not an HBCU grad. And so, for those who, have attended, they're grad, they're alumni, they're, this is part of their, tradition, and they're supportive of it because they're supportive of the school. I'm in no way making my comments related to that because, I'm not part of that community. What I have been very public about saying is that a lot of these partnerships following the activism and the outcry is based upon consumerism, is based upon getting our dollars and getting our money. And, even when I'm in conversations with brands and platforms who want to talk to, NAACP or others about ways to be engaged, me as an NAACP branch president, I'm asking them ways to be engaged that have some material impacts. Like, what is the diversity of your staff? Like, what do you do during the summer in terms of hiring, folks? Can you offer opportunity for your management and for your staff to volunteer to engage with us on voter registration and engagement, to do a long-term, meaningful engagement, depending on what role they play, like in the community. Offering something to sell seems an easy way out to me. And while, yes, a number of our institutions are, need the funding, the ongoing funding, and, far be it from me, Brooklyn NAACP, we got money without people. I didn't even ask people for money. And people were just like, here, I'm selling my collection of DVDs on eBay, and I'm going to give all the money to Brooklyn NAACP. And I'm like, you in Wisconsin. Like, why are you giving money to me, right? And we didn't ask. It was just, donations in that way. But I feel like that's easy. it's easier to say we're going to sell this collection and give, part of the money, rather than saying how can we materially change, increasing the numbers of people in the staff that work here from every level. How can we invest in the department, that might be able to funnel on an ongoing basis for generations to come, more people in this industry or platform. So, I feel it's kind of lazy, but at the same point, like, I understand people are trying. I don't know how to reconcile that, Clay, because like it really is. I feel like people are trying, but are you really?
I agree with that. And Clay, this is the same Ralph Lauren who literally stole an emblem of one of the Black fraternities and had to come back and apologize in 2020 for basically putting it all over clothes and thinking nobody would notice. So I'm like, they've been problematic. And I agree with what Eljoy just said. This is consumerism writ large. This is not about equity. This is because if it was, there would be a driving force from the Ralph Lauren side to do other things. But also there's an extent that they could do, them and other, large fashion designers for HBCUs without it coming off like this. And to her point, I'm not an HBCU grad either. But with that being said, being somebody who works for an education organization and acknowledging the fact that HBCUs are having fundamental financial issues, I think that, yes, on the one hand, any support and all support is definitely needed, but we also have to be careful of the levels of engagement we have with people who are not here to do us justice.
So I struggle with this a little bit. I talk a lot about capitalism on this show. I mean, I'm from the school of George Jackson and Angela Davis, and I believe that capitalism is truly insidious. And I hear what y'all are saying about Ralph Lauren, but just thinking about Morehouse and Spelman for a minute, the creative director is Black, the photographer is Black of this collection, the cinematographer is Black. They actually have a Morehouse alum who is the creative director of this collection. And I think about, if you are somebody who wants this opportunity, this might be a great route for you. In addition to that, they have committed, don't know how active it's how they're going to do it, really deepening, they should have did this years ago, but deepening their Black talent for internships, development programs, and so on. So I understand the frustration that people have with Ralph Lauren. I understand this idea, like this is capitalism at its worst. But the whole idea of college is capitalism. The whole idea of paying for college for profit, it is capitalism. So I love a HBCU. I didn't go to HBCU either, but this is kind of how it is. Morehouse depends on an enormous amount of funding from, private people. And listen, I feel like, what the hell, if Ralph Lauren is going to pass on some money and give some Black creatives some talent, the Black creatives who are getting talent, who are getting access, getting a line in a job resume from Ralph Lauren, they may go on to start their own fashion house that will eclipse Ralph Lauren. I hear the disgust of Ralph Lauren. I get it. But I think of the young Black people who might be able to use this and expand it even more. So I don't know if I feel like Morehouse and Spelman should have said no. Like, I don't know what I don't know. So tabling Ralph Lauren, thinking about the Black folks that might have some good impact from it, I feel like, what the hell? This is the give and take of capitalism. This ain't, college is too expensive, including HBCUs. Go ahead, Eljoy. If I'm wrong, correct me.
So that's why I said I don't know how to reconcile this, right? Because while at the same time, in the immediate need, the fund, people need the funding, we're still operating in a capitalist system that requires that to happen. So, and I'm not in a position to say to a college president, or to someone who's saying we're going to turn down this, whatever the amount actually results in, that can meet an immediate need, given where we are, right? So that's a reality, right? at the same time, when we're having these discussions, for those of you who are listening, who are in those positions in corporate entities, who are making a decision about how you're going to support or you want to support and thinking of ways to do it, the reason why I bring it up and say it is to challenge you to do more and to do better. Is to say, so rather than focusing on they shouldn't have done it, they should have done whatever, is for those who are actively considering and having conversations and doing brainstorming sessions with the Black staff in your company and things like that, to listen to them and talk about, if we're going to do an engagement, this needs to be about not how just we bring on new customers, right? This needs to not be about how this affects us in the marketplace, but that we're really committed to the principles of equity, and how do we use our position in whatever industry we are in, whatever platform we have, to be more equitable, to create those coattails to ensure that it's not the same method going forward. So what I'm saying is, thinking about Black folks only as consumers and as a trendy thing to do is to slap your logo on something that you can sell to Black people, and then just give 20% of the proceeds or something like that to an entity, is lazy. And there's a better and more equitable way that you can do it. And I'm challenging those who are receptive to that to actually do that.
866-801-8255. Do you feel like Morehouse and Spelman should not have done this collaboration with Ralph Lauren, or do you feel like Ralph Lauren should have just, been, like you said, like Eljoy is saying, been a little bit more innovative if they really wanted to help Black communities? Let's go to a call here. Let's go to Damon from Maryland, first time caller.
Hey, Clay.
Hey, what's up?
What's going on, Clay? It's a pleasure to speak to you. I really enjoy your show, and so it's kind of disappointing to me that I have to call and you all are saying that this is something controversial. I'm an alum of Morehouse College, class of 2005. This is the most exciting thing that that has happened to us in a very long time. This is not about exploitation or capitalism or any of that. This is about us being put on by a brand that is built off of capitalism and profit. Now, if this was Harvard or another Ivy League school, we'd say, oh, yeah, of course they will partner with that. That's what they're supposed to do. This is them embracing something that is all American in the HBCU experience. And man, I couldn't be more excited about it. Everybody that I know couldn't be more excited about it. We are waiting with bated breath on the 22nd for this to go on sale. It's going to sell out immediately. And I like it. This is everything. So
Damon, hold on one second though. Hold on one second. You sound really excited. And I love a brother who's, happy about things, because we need some joy. But you said this is the most exciting thing that's happened to Morehouse in a very long time. I just want to make sure I heard you right. Explain why this is the most exciting thing.
Because this is an embrace of Morehouse into larger culture. Now, you might want to call that large culture, whatever it is, but this puts more eyes on us. That's what we're about. Okay. That's what we're about, creating legacy and being known for who we are without saying who we are, but just our presence in the room. This puts us in another room and to another level of respect and visibility. So that's why this is exciting. And not only that, this was conceived by a Morehouse man and executed by a Spelman woman. So yeah, so this idea that just some white man just came in and took from it. No, my dude that came up with this has been working on this for the last 15, 20 years. This is something that he birthed and wanted to see happen. He used to work at the Georgetown. I said that.
Morehouse alum. Yeah, go ahead.
He used to work at the Georgetown Ralph Lauren store in retail, and so he literally worked from the ground up to make this brand happen, man. And it looks amazing. Like everybody that I've seen like on social media is loving it. Yeah, we got some haters out there. They're like, oh, well, what about this school? What about that school? That's fine. When you get into the room, then you can put your school on too. But this was about something that we did for ourselves, and I couldn't be more excited about it. The people that I know couldn't be more excited about it. And this whole idea,
brother, you excited? I got you. Amisha, give us some thoughts, and we'll go to a break. And every line is lit. Go ahead.
I mean, he was excited. I was like, I can say that. I'm glad that we have somebody who called in who is an alum. I think that there is
Right.
that Morehouse has pride to the ends of the earth. And I do think that there can be some positivity from it if it does, lend itself to jobs for more people. If it does create, and I said this in my original statement, it's about visibility for them, but we also have to remember that it's about visibility for Ralph Lauren. Do you know how much money he's going to make off of the Black community based on this? White people aren't going to go out and get Morehouse gear. That's not a thing. But there are a ton of Black people who were not regularly buying Ralph Lauren and acknowledging the sheer amount of money, spending dollars that the Black community has. This is also something that's really going to help Ralph Lauren. Like, let's not get it twisted. The passion isn't just about a project that helps HBCUs. It's also about tapping into that Black money that exists and making sure that their retail section is also receiving it in larger number.